The Nile doesn't rush you. It never has. It moves with a confidence that suggests it knows exactly what time it is and doesn't feel the need to prove it. You walk along its bank in the early light, sandals damp with dew, watching the surface glow faintly pink as the sky wakes up. Somewhere behind you, a village stirs. Somewhere ahead, farmers are already knee-deep in mud, reading the river like a very long, very wet calendar. Here, time isn't scratched into stone or dripping through clay. It rises. You crouch beside an older man who's studying a simple wooden post driven into the riverbank. Dark lines mark its height, each one carefully cut and smoothed by years of hands. This is a nilometer in its most humble form, not the grand staircases and columns you'll find near temples, but a practical farmer's version. The man runs his fingers over one of the marks and nods. 2 fingers higher than last year, he says calmly. Good. Good means enough water to soak the fields. Good means grain will grow tall. Good means no one starves. You realize slowly that this river doesn't just measure time, it creates it. The year here isn't divided by months first, but by moods of water, inundation, growth, harvest. The flood comes, the land drinks, seeds wake, grain ripens, and the cycle repeats with the patience of something eternal. Historians still argue whether early Egyptians structured their calendars around the Nile first or the stars first. But standing here, watching the water creep higher by the day, it's hard to imagine ignoring something so obvious. When the river moves, everything else follows. The farmers talk softly among themselves, comparing levels, remembering past floods like old neighbors. Too high, and it steals houses, one mutters. Too low, and it steals children. There's no drama in his voice, just facts. Timekeeping here isn't philosophical, it's survival with good posture. By mid-morning, the sun climbs, but clouds drift lazily overhead, turning the light flat and gray. You notice people glancing up, uneasy. Without clear shadows, the usual daytime cues soften. A man squints at the sky, then at the river, then shrugs. River says work, he decides. They follow the water, not the sun. You spend the day moving between fields and canals, watching how flood timing shapes everything. Planting doesn't start on a date. It starts when the water retreats just enough to leave behind glossy black mud. Harvest doesn't begin at an hour. It begins when stalks feel heavy and the river whispers soon. And yet, timekeeping still sneaks in. Near a granary, an official sits with a small water clock balanced carefully on a crate, shaded by linen. He's timing grain distribution, making sure no one lingers too long at the bins. The drip is steady, but slower today. Cooler air, thicker water. He adjusts a peg slightly, frowning. Winter flow, he mutters. You remember the temple clepsydras with seasonal markings, the priests arguing about drip speed. The same problem follows everyone. Even the Nile doesn't erase the need for precision. It just reframes it. At noon, or what feels like noon, the clouds thicken. The sun disappears entirely, swallowed by a soft blanket of gray. Without shadows, people lose their place in the day. Work continues, but unevenly. Some farmers stop too early. Others push on too long. A woman yawns and laughs. Clouds make liars of us all, she says. Later, you learn that cloudy days are notorious for oversleeping. Without the sun's bright insistence, people wake later, drift slower, misjudge breaks. Children arrive late to chores. Guards change shifts late. Someone always blames the sky. There's even a running joke that the gods send clouds when they want humans to relax. Or fail. Possibly both. By afternoon, the river steals the show again. The water has crept higher since morning, barely noticeable unless you're watching closely. Everyone is watching closely. Children run to the posts, shouting updates like town criers. It touched the 3rd mark. No, it didn't. Yes, it did. I swear on my sandals. Arguments break out. Measurements are debated. Someone fetches an elder. This is river-based bureaucracy at its finest. Eventually, consensus forms. The flood is on schedule. Relief spreads like a breeze. People smile more easily. Shoulders loosen. Time is behaving. You walk with a group to higher ground where houses perch safely above flood level. From here, the fields below look like mirrors, reflecting sky and palm trees in shimmering patches. It's beautiful. It's also terrifying, you realize. So much trust placed in water behaving as expected. Historians still argue how far in advance Egyptians could truly predict flood levels with accuracy, or whether much of it relied on accumulated intuition and religious faith. Watching the villagers make careful notes on potsherds, you suspect it's both. Pattern and prayer, hand in hand. As evening approaches, the clouds finally break. Sunlight spills through, low and golden, casting long shadows that feel almost apologetic for their absence earlier. People visibly perk up. The day reasserts itself. A farmer points at the shadow of a palm tree stretching across the mud. Too late for planting today, he says cheerfully. River wins. Time, again, decides. You sit near the bank as the sky deepens into blue, listening to frogs tune up for the night. Someone nearby sets a small water clock beside their sleeping mat. Not for ritual, not for work, but to wake before dawn if the flood reaches a certain mark. Practical anxiety measured in drips. You think about alarm clocks again. About how here, waking up too late doesn't just mean missing a meeting. It means missing the moment the land is ready. Time isn't abstract or digital. It's damp. It stains your feet. It smells like river plants and wet earth. The stars begin to appear, reflected in the floodwaters like a second sky. Somewhere upriver, the Nile continues its slow, unstoppable progress, setting the pace for millions of lives without ever raising its voice. You lie back, watching clouds drift past constellations, feeling oddly comforted. Even when shadows fail, even when clouds confuse, the river keeps time. And tomorrow, cloudy or not, it will remind everyone when to wake.